G'day everyone, welcome back to my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. This is the Australian Grand Prix in Season 2. And heading into this one, we had an okay time in the previous round in Brazil, but we certainly could have done better, so we'll try to do that here. There is the R&D chart. You can see we are continuing to inch our way forwards. Not really a huge difference between the progress we're making versus Mercedes, but we are right in the fight, although in qualifying not so much. Yuki Tsunoda showing the pace of the car, but we are way down and only just getting into Q2, so yeah, we have a lot of pace to find. And I'll say now, during practice I could not complete a practice program to save my life, seriously. I don't know what was going on, but yeah, it was a very tough time in practice, but anyway, thankfully with the quick practice feature I managed to I think get all of the objectives completed bar one, so we still got maximum resource points and just missed out on one discount there. But yeah, evidently in Q1 we're not doing much better and only just getting through, so it's very strange because usually around this circuit I've been quite good. I remember, I think it was F1 2020 was particularly good for me at this circuit, but for some reason F1 2021 something's changed and I just cannot get a rhythm around here. And I seem to remember in Season 1 I wasn't particularly enjoying that race. That one ended in a mechanical failure. Speaking of which, we actually haven't had a mechanical DNF this season, as far as I can remember. So the reliability of this car in Season 2 has been incredibly good. So that has probably kept us in the fight, while the likes of Daniel Ricciardo, who had a big championship lead early on, he has had reliability issues with McLaren not investing quite as much in durability. But while I've been rambling on about all that, we are knocked out in Q2. Not really a surprise, unfortunately, with the pace we've had. We just don't have what it takes to run for pole position today, so it's going to be a tough one, and maybe some points is the most we can really ask for heading into this. But yeah, we only had one run in Q2 because we had to use 2 tyre sets in Q1 as well. But let's see into the race and see if we can make up for it.
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today. But I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
Well, from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle. And the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. A very happy Carlos SAINZ will start second. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have the scientist, Norris. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sebastian VETTEL and Leclerc. Stroll, Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty. Ricciardo and George Russell. Tsunoda, GIOVINAZZI. Nikita MAZEPIN, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Perez. Bottas, Raikkonen, Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso, Matsushita, Mick Schumacher, Ocon and Nicholas Latifi. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Okay, I know it's your home Grand Prix, but treat it like any other race. Don't take unnecessary risks.
We won't be doing any of that. We have inherited an insane grid slot. We've gained 8 places from grid penalties. There's only 2 cars left in front of us, and yeah, we are very much back in contention if we have the race pace. That is a big if. The strategy for the time being will be a 2-stop, 2 sets of softs to the mediums, and we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's just go to the 5 red lights and get this Australian Grand Prix underway. And it's lights out and away we go for the Australian Grand Prix, and it's a good start for Carlos Sainz, bad one for Hamilton. We've got the best start of the top 3. We're going to have a look down the inside of Sainz, and we're going to take the lead into turn 1, and we are now in first position.
Caution, the virtual safety car has just been deployed due to a buildup of debris on the track.
And there's already a crash somewhere on the circuit behind us. We'll have a look at a replay to see exactly what's happened further back in the field. Or potentially we could have made contact with Sainz. We'll actually check that out. Here's the overtake for the lead. Looks like we got past Sainz cleanly enough there, and we are away and clear with a bit of breathing space behind us on board now with Hamilton. So we'll see if it was any involvement with him, because we were almost 3 wide heading into the first corner, but we pushed Sainz a little bit wide, but it was clean for 3 of us, so the incident must have been further back. And oh, it's one of the AlphaTauris with a wheel off, and that is a familiar sight from only a few races ago. Nobuharu MATSUSHITA with 3 wheels on his wagon once again. It happened at Sochi, and it's happened here again, so we'll have a look on board with the Japanese driver to see exactly how this starts. He's just clipped the back of I think one of the Alphas there, and ends up piling into the side of the other Alfa Romeo. Here's the onboard with Antonio Giovinazzi, who is already having a bit of an incident of his own into the back of the McLaren, and then gets the AlphaTauri in the right hand side as well. So an eventful start for Gio. Here's the onboard with Perez looking back. He's so lucky not to get hit by Matsushita, just far enough around the corner to avoid any form of collision there. Here's the onboard with Kimi RAIKKONEN. He was the car that Matsushita made contact with, and took the wheel off Matsushita's car. So that is a big incident to kick off this race. Here's the onboard with Mazepin, and he just about gets through with the incident right in front of him. And we'll go super slow-mo with Matsushita to see exactly what happened here. And yeah, it was pulling to the right to try and get down the inside of Kimi RAIKKONEN, but just couldn't quite pull the car across far enough in time. And yeah, it just made like fairly small contact relatively, but it was enough to rip the wheel off the car, because it doesn't take much. And yes, all of a sudden he is out of the race. So what a disaster for Matsushita, and for Giovinazzi as well, who very likely has a damage from that. So yeah, it's unfortunate for them. Watching carefully where Raikkonen was driving, he wasn't moving across to the inside or anything silly like that.
Car, you're leading, so don't pass it. Stay behind the safety car.
So yeah, just a slight misjudgment for Matsushita once again. And yeah, it's a very similar incident to what we had back at Sochi.
The safety car is coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane.
And now, after a brief safety car period, we are ready to go again at the end of the 3rd lap of this one, with Carlos Sainz in second position behind us. We will set ourselves up for a good restart, and hopefully we can push away from the field behind. But already a mistake before we even got going again, running a bit wide there, so that was a little bit clumsy. But anyway, we skip along to the main straight and get going for green flag running once again, deep into turn 1 though, and this could be costly for us if Sainz is anywhere near us. We managed to hold on to the position. In fact, where is Sainz? They've all disappeared. What's happened behind us? Something has gone on the restart. Carlos Sainz, he's stopping. He's got a problem. Carlos Sainz comes to a complete stop at the apex of turn 2. The field goes by, but I can't help thinking something else has happened behind, because that wasn't quite the whole field there. And as we have a look, it looks like it's a pile up at the apex of turn 2 with a couple of cars involved there, and that is not what you want to see. Here is the onboard with Lewis Hamilton, and he manages, well, he almost managed to get a stop. Now I think he got hit from behind. Sebastian Vettel is, yep, same story, and yeah, that's unfortunate for all of them. Lando Norris, and he just makes light contact with Sebastian Vettel, but they will all have front wing damage for sure. Lance Stroll was next in the queue, and he managed to avoid all of that, and he moves himself up into second place in this race. So nice work there for Lance Stroll. And for this, Carlos Sainz got a 10-second penalty for illegal blocking, and or 2 5-second penalties, adding up, I suppose you could say. But yeah, the pit crews go to work in repairing all of the damaged cars. Lewis Hamilton in the lane there, as well as Lando Norris in the McLaren, also getting a new front wing fix to his car, and Sebastian Vettel as well. So 3 cars with front wing damage in the early phase of this one, but they will get going once again. No one out of the race because of that. But now we go on board with Lance Stroll, who's putting the pressure on us, but he's also got Charles Leclerc around the outside, and they make contact with each other, and that sends them both into the pit lane for new front wings as well. So Stroll and Leclerc coming to blows down at the final sector, and they both need new front wings too. So yeah, it's been a scrappy race so far, so hopefully things can clean up by the end of it. But yeah, currently we are still lacking a bit of pace, as we are defending very aggressively there from Max Verstappen, and we are just making this car as wide as we possibly can, because we still don't have the pace here, so we just need to try and hold on to this position as best we can.
Keep taking care of them.
But another mistake in the first corner, running deep again at the first chicane. And now we've got a bad run on the exit. We're going to try and cover off Max Verstappen, who's going down the inside. We're late on the brakes, a little bit too late, and we're running deep into the corner, and that's going to allow Verstappen through, but not before Tsunoda takes the lead. Yuki Tsunoda gets both positions at once, and our teammate has just taken the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Let's see how that exactly happened. We're on board with Verstappen as we went wide at turn 1. So Verstappen looking to the inside here, and that was obviously the logical place to go, but he gets pinched in, and Tsunoda just finds a clear air around the outside, and Yuki Tsunoda, with a great move there, takes the lead, and he will be hard to beat here with the pace of our car. Let's hope that he can hold on to that position. But yeah, here's the onboard with Tsunoda to see exactly how he made that move stick, and it was a very nice one, and he is now in the top points paying position. We're on board with Carlos Sainz now, and he makes a bit of contact with Bottas, who gave him the big squeeze as they enter the final sector, as Sainz is making his way back through the field after that stoppage. But anyway, we continue on, and I think it is time we got rid of these soft tyres. I looked at the tyre temperatures earlier, and they were absolutely fried, which is probably why we are lacking so much pace. But we'll see how the mediums go. But Verstappen is in for a front wing change as well. I'm not 100% sure where he got that damage from, I guess we may have made a bit of contact with him with our aggressive defense.
One stop left.
Down at turn 3, as Tsunoda was able to get through in that little inton. Potentially we made a bit of contact as we were defending that position, but either way we're going again, and we've got Lance Stroll behind us and putting the pressure on as we head into turn 3. A little bit deep for us, but we've got enough in the tank to hold off Lance Stroll, and we can push on in this race. But we continue on. Lance Stroll down the inside, and he'll get the move done, and Max Verstappen will take advantage of that as well, and we have to just slot in behind. We don't really have what it takes to fight them at the moment. We're still lacking pace in this race. We're probably slightly better off than what we were on the soft tyres, but we're still not really in a great position, yeah, we're just trying to survive this race and see what we can come away with at the moment. But yeah, right now we just are lacking a lot of pace. So yeah, it's tricky right now. But anyway, we're on board with Max Verstappen, and here's how he made that move on us, and very soon he will make a similar move on Lance Stroll as he goes to the outside. Thought about sticking it all the way around the outside there. In the end, he decided to just take the normal line through the chicane, and again Stroll gives Verstappen the big squeeze at that part of the circuit. There's a bit of a pinch point there, it seems, but Verstappen nonetheless is able to get through, and he successfully made that move. Now we go for a big dive up the inside of Lance Stroll, and that was aggressive, but we had to do it, and we get the move done. So maybe now starting to find some pace. We'll see how it goes, but Lando Norris gets past us as he's recovering in this race, and he will
with him. He might make a mistake. He could still regain the position.
Be pushing very hard to make up for that damage he got earlier on, as we lose the rear end out of turn 2. Esteban Ocon in front of us. He just come out of the pit lane.
Speed. Our delta is too low and we risk a penalty.
And we've got another safety car now, and this one we're on board with Sebastian Vettel, and he runs into the back of Carlos SAINZ as SAINZ exits pit lane, and Vettel drops his front wing in the middle of the circuit, and that brings out the virtual, or the full safety car rather, as we make a bit of contact with Esteban Ocon. That brings us into the pit lane. I wasn't really planning to pit, but yeah, with that little mistake there, it's well, we have to do it in short. So into the pits we go, and we're actually putting the hard compound tyres on because the mediums were still overheating a little bit. So we're going to go with the hards to see how they go. Maybe we can make something work on that compound. I guess we will just have to wait and see, as Sebastian Vettel comes in for a front wing change, as does Lance Stroll, who was actually ahead in that queue. So the Aston Martin's double stacking both of them with front wing changes. So yeah, that's a busy day for the Aston Martin crew, but they are both moving again, and we're going to come straight back into the pit lane because as soon as I put the hard tyres on, I just instantly changed my mind. Not only that, I did also speed in the pit lane on the entry, you may have noticed. So pitting now will clear that penalty, and we're back on the medium compound tyres, and I don't know how far these will go. I don't know what the strategy is at this point.
Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
But nonetheless, we will just see how it goes, I suppose. But yellow flag up ahead. What is this about? There's another pile up at the first corner. Front wings flying everywhere. We managed to take avoiding action and avoid the incident there. But what on earth happened down at the first corner? That was a big one. And there are going to be several cars out of the race. We're down to 14 runners left. So I think the 7 cars out in this crash. Nikita MAZEPIN out. Nicholas Latifi out of the race as well in the Williams. Wheel torn off the front left corner. Antonio Giovinazzi, here he comes towards the incident, and bang, straight in, and he's out of the race too. Antonio Giovinazzi. Now Valtteri Bottas, bang, out of the race, and he is getting a few extra hits from behind for good measure. Carlos Sainz as well in the Ferrari. He's already losing it in the braking zone. Bang, that was a big hit for Carlos Sainz. He is out of the race. Lando Norris now joins the party straight into the back and out of the race as well. Wheel off the front right corner for Lando Norris. Lance Stroll is also big hit. Big hit for Lance Stroll, but he is not out, strangely enough, and Sebastian Vettel smack into his teammate, and Sebastian Vettel is out of the race too. My goodness, that was a big pile-up, and now the crews go to work. Mick Schumacher in the pit lane, as well as Pierre Gasly, and I believe that is Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll, all in the pit lane, getting their cars repaired. My goodness, what a crash, and no safety car. Can't believe it. That is insanity down at the first corner. But now round the outside of Yuki Tsunoda goes Sergio Perez, and the Mexican takes the lead on the inside of turn 4. Sergio Perez up into first place, Yuki Tsunoda down to second, and Red Bull now lead this race as there's a problem for Lance Stroll, and we're losing another car out of this race, and Lance Stroll is going to retire from this one with a mechanical failure. What a disaster for Aston Martin. Double DNF, and I don't think they're going to be the only team with that stat coming out of this one. We've only got 13 runners left in this race. We've almost lost half the field. This is unbelievable. I don't know what's happening at this point. But anyway, we're going down the inside of George Russell, and we make that move stick, but we go deep into turn 4. We keep it on the track, and Russell's gone, and he's in the wall, and Russell is out of the race. Oh my goodness, George Russell has got, I think, a little bit excited on the inside as we went wide. We'll have a look at the replay to see exactly how that played out, but we went wide. Russell tried to take the gap on the inside, just ran a bit too deep, bit too hot there, and he has spun himself on our left rear tyre. He's ended up in the wall, and George Russell is out of the race as well. Oh my goodness. I've got no words left. We're in the pit lane now for another stop while there is another safety car out, and we go on to the soft compound tyres to give these ones another try and see how they go in the next stint of the race, and hopefully we'll be able to gain some track positioning with these. But anyway, Kimi RAIKKONEN also comes into the pits on that lap, and he gets a new set of tyres as well as a new front wing. Not sure where he got damaged from, but nonetheless he will have a little more downforce at the front end of that car now with that changed. We come straight back into the pit lane though, and we'll put a set of mediums back on the car because I just instantly changed my mind once again.
Complete, go now.
And yeah, we've got nothing to lose. We might as well.
The incident has been cleared. Let's get back up to racing speed.
Might as well be on the preferred tyre. But anyway, now on the restart, there's another one, and we've taken the lead as we're running out of cars in this race. We're on board with Schumacher. He's had a big one. He's got the front left torn off, and Schumacher is out of the race. Pierre Gasly as well has made contact with the back of Schumacher, and he is also out of this one. Kimi RAIKKONEN is out as well, and that's another 3 runners out of this race. We let Yuki Tsunoda back past us, and he can retake the lead that he had previously. But my goodness, what's happening? I honestly I don't know. More front wing changes for Charles Leclerc there, as well as the Alpine car there. Can't see who that is at the moment. That is Esteban Ocon in the pit lane as well. So, yeah. My goodness. We continue to race on though, nonetheless, and with Tsunoda in the lead, we are trying to be his best rear gunner and just hold off the field. We may not have the pace, but we can defend, and that's contact with Lewis Hamilton there on the exit of the penultimate corner. We sort of chopped across him there. I think we wanted to both go in different directions. We'll have a look at the replay all the way from here, and yeah, Hamilton tried to make the move initially on the outside, got a switchback as we ran deep into the corner, and he got up the inside for the right-hander. We went wide there as well, but we still were able to get back up the inside of the left-hander this penultimate corner, and yeah, we just cut to the left a lot faster than he was planning to. I almost wonder if he was heading for the pit lane there, but nonetheless, that damaged his front wing, and now he's in the pits for another stop and another front wing again. So this is going to be a very expensive Grand Prix for a couple of teams here, and Mercedes, one car out and one car having to change a couple of front wings now. So my goodness, this is off the charts. But anyway, we continue on, and down the inside goes the Red Bull of Sergio Perez as we try and hold the position. Around the outside, we show him the wide line there, and we'll hold on to the position for the time being. But on board with Sergio Perez, and you'll see the defense there. He was able to get a decent way alongside as we showed him the wide line. Bit of contact made there, but it didn't look too serious. But Perez is in, and he's got front wing damage from that contact. So you know, robust defense is costing many front wings, it seems, in this race. So yeah, I mean, it's no loss to us, but it's causing absolute chaos behind. Watch out, Max Verstappen, because this might not end well, given how the previous few encounters have gone. But for now, we hold on from the Dutchman, as he is just following us through, and we're just going defensive into every corner, because if we don't, we're going to get past. We are severely lacking pace. I'm talking like over a second a lap, maybe more. So yeah, it's a very frustrating race, and all the defense certainly isn't helping the pace. That's obvious, but yeah, even just in clear air with no one around, we just, for some reason, we're just not getting along with this circuit today. But anyway, we've got yellow flags behind. Does something happen to Verstappen now? He's off, I think, and the safety car is out. What's happened here with Max Verstappen? He's hit us, and he's got the front wheel off the car. Max Verstappen, what's happened here? Oh, he's just turned in as we're a bit slower on the apex, and he's bowled himself out of the race as well.
Ricciardo is behind you. The gap is less than a second. They're on fresh mediums. They seem to have an issue. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. 17 laps to go.
And now Ricciardo has a mechanical problem as well inside that McLaren, so that's another potential issue. We've only got 8 runners left in this race. Yuki Tsunoda sets sail once again, and he leads us away from the safety car restart down towards the first chicane once again, and again he stops on the apex as we bowl a wide down there. But that isn't, I don't know what's going on there. There's obviously some sort of thing going on with the AI, but this time Ricciardo's involved, and he is out. The front right wheel is off for Daniel Ricciardo. That's a title contender, another one who's fallen in this race. And that is also Fernando Alonso getting caught up in the action as well.
There's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Apologies for the audio little issue there, not sure what that's about. But Tsunoda back through into the lead, we let him go there. And he immediately pits anyway, so that doesn't really amount to anything in the end. And we retake the lead. While everyone else in the race is making pit stops for new front wings. The crews that go to work again. Tsunoda not putting a new front wing on, just making a scheduled stop. It would seem strange to do it one lap after a safety car. Lewis Hamilton in for a new front wing as well. So that is yet another wing that Mercedes have had to replace in this race. And Charles Leclerc into the pits as well. That's a new front wing for the Ferrari, and that gets put on the car as well as a new wing for Esteban Ocon in the Alpine garage. But another one for Sergio Perez. This was a few laps later, on lap 50, so 6 laps after everyone else. Couldn't find what that one was for. He didn't make any contact with anyone, so that was a strange one. But nonetheless, lap 51, we let Tsunoda pass after he catches up to us. and he can continue on his merry way. But that just goes to demonstrate how much pace we are lacking here in this race. Everyone else made a pit stop after that safety car, and we're still not leading this race.
Be careful, we think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Okay, no useful radio there, but now we move on to...
This is your final lap of the race.
And all we need to do is bring it home. We do have just about enough of a gap to Sergio Perez, as long as we don't make any more mistakes like that. But yeah, we've got enough of a gap to Perez so that we don't have to worry about it too much. But yeah, it's been a super frustrating race. For some reason or other, I just could not get a rhythm today. I don't know why. Even in Monaco, I can get a rhythm after a while, you know, towards the end of the race. But anyway, one driver who was in a good rhythm was Yuki Tsunoda, and he is going to come across the line to win the Australian Grand Prix. Great drive, Yuki Tsunoda, and he will take maximum points today as, well, he won't get the fastest lap. That will go to Sergio Perez, but we will just about hold off the Mexican for second position, but...
Top job, my friend, top job. I was a bit worried about this one at the start of the weekend, but you've pulled through. Thank you.
That's about as an empty second position can possibly be.
A great race then, and a fantastic victory here at Albert Park. So Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
Taking care of the car was absolutely vital today. It's been obvious all weekend that the pace was there, but look at the attrition rate we've had. They would have been very concerned about any minor anomaly towards the latter stages of this Grand Prix.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Well, it is Yuki Tsunoda who comes out on top in this absolutely insane Australian Grand Prix. We managed to make it a 1-2 for the team with Sergio Perez in third.
Scientist takes over the lead of the Drivers' Championship. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Esteban Ocon. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
Let's move on to the constructors. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
6 finishers. My goodness. I want to say words, but words don't describe what just happened. I'm lost. I don't know what to say. Race results. Tsunoda first, we finished second, third was Perez, fourth was Hamilton, fifth Leclerc, sixth Esteban Ocon, and that's it. Ricciardo seventh, Alonso 8th, Verstappen 9th, Schumacher 10th, but none of them actually score because they didn't finish, so they all come away with a 0. I actually thought they did. I thought you could still score points if you completed like a certain like a percentage of the race, but whether they got that far and whether that rule is actually present in the game, I don't know, but nonetheless it is no points for any of them. My goodness. Let's have a quick look at the Drivers' Championship. We lead the way by 1 singular point over Max Verstappen, who sits second. Lando Norris is third, 18 points away, and fourth is Daniel Ricciardo, 31 points away. Hamilton fifth, but he is not mathematically in contention anymore. As with the constructors, McLaren still lead the way, 36 points ahead of Red Bull. We sit in third, 51 points adrift, but back in contention, at least definitely with Red Bull, and hopefully with McLaren. To take the Constructors' Championship, we'll basically need a 1-2 in the remaining 2 races of the season, and also hope that McLaren run into some issues. So it's very unlikely that we'll win the Constructors' Championship, but it's not impossible. Not impossible, so we'll give it our best shot. But yeah, it's been a great day in the office for our team. A very up and down one, very frustrating for me just not having the pace, and I can't honestly say why. I just could not get used to the circuit. It just did not come naturally today. But anyway, that is enough of that. Let's move on to the interviews.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. You're leading the championship. Are you happy to be there or feeling the pressure?
Of course I'm happy to be there. It's what we've been working towards for all this time. So yeah, it's awesome.
Your team secured the top 2 positions. Is it safe to say you're a winning combination?
Well, winning in the metaphorical sense at least. Of course we did come away with the result today, but we've been working well.
You had a lot of fans out there today. Does the pressure get to you when you're back home?
Not so much. I think the support is always very welcome. So.
You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret?
Well, I can't tell you that, can I?
Great. Well, that's everything.
Not actually the answer I chose, but it's the best my head could come up with at the time. Okay, well, rivalry, we are even with Hamilton there on this one so far. Hamilton, that's a funny looking Hamilton. That's a Verstappen. Oh goodness, it's been a long video, I'm tired. Okay, we get all of our sponsor objectives this time, and we already have a department event, so let's go check that out. So it seems like the durability department are on the edge of a step forward in development in the energy store failure analysis. That's a 25% decrease in the cost of that upgrade, but they're not quite going to complete the work on time. So we can either agree to authorize some overtime for them. That will decrease their morale by 25%, but it will give us that upgrade, or the discount of that upgrade, rather. And I think we're going to do that. So, yeah, sorry guys.
The department wants me to pass on their thanks for helping out.
So as for the activity timeline then, we're going to go for the weight training for Yuki Tsunoda, as we always do. We're going to go for the funded team event away. That will boost up the morale of all departments and sort of make up for the previous department event decision, and we'll also go for the sports demonstration event, which will give us some driver acclaim. So we go through the timeline towards the next event.
We had a major issue on the production line earlier this week, so the entire development package for the weekend has failed. Any redevelopments will need to be ordered from the R&D screen. Hey, the marketing team wants to run this one past you.
It's busy here at the HQ. God love it when your upgrades fail. But anyway, marketing department event. It seems like our team's been invited to an esports event, and if we go, we get a bunch of acclaim, or if we stay back at home and at HQ, we can get a bunch of resource points. We're going to go for the acclaim because for once we don't actually really need the resource points. We've done most of the performance-based upgrades we can do for this season. I think we've sort of capped out our chassis, aero and engine departments for the time being. There's not really a lot more work we can do in those areas, so yeah, we're going for the acclaim this time. We still have a little bit of work to do on durability. I think I'm talking like 1 or 2 upgrades we have left, and we're going to purchase that one now, and I think that is the last one. So yeah, that's it for the durability department as well. But yeah, as we continue through, we now arrive at the Saudi Arabia Grand Prix. So other than that then, I don't think there's much else left to cover, so I'll say thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Really appreciate it. Feel free to give us some feedback in the comments, it's always very helpful. But other than that, I will see you next time. Goodbye.
It's race day here in Melbourne as we continue with what could shape up to be one of the best Australian Grand Prix.
Little did he know what was about to happen.